Hello, Young Buffalo. I'm your host, Josiah Bailey, and today I have with me Councilman Wyatt, and I have a few questions for you today. But first off, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, Josiah. How are you today?
Doing very well.
Okay.
That's great, though. But first, what did you major for in college, and how long did you go?
Well, I graduated from Seneca Vocational in electronics, and so I went to school for computer science, thinking that they would translate. That didn't quite work out, so I ended up going to school for accounting and majored in accounting and got an accounting degree, and then went to Medaille College and got my business degree in leadership, and then I ended up getting a master's. So those are the things that I majored in, and very happy that I did because it's really helped me to where I'm at today.
So, what exactly is your job right now, and what responsibilities do you have in that?
Well, as council member for the University District, my primary responsibility, according to the city charter, which mandates what your role is when you're elected, is to make laws. And so that's the primary role of my job. But the other part of my job, I feel, is really a community advocate and person that disseminates information. You made a comment when we were talking earlier about that you know a lot about politics. Well, my job is to educate people on politics and the operations of the city, because that's so important. If you don't know how the city operates, then it's hard for you to know what's going on. You just assume things. And so I think part of my responsibility as a lawmaker and a community advocate is to educate the community on how the city works and how it should be serving you.
So, after your schooling and all of your journey from starting off as something completely different, what made you actually desire to become in that position?
Actually, it was just an opportunity that came available. I really, to be quite honest, I lived in Virginia for a short time, and I was president of NAACP there. And then when I came here, I saw this opportunity to work for what they said council staff, and those are the people that support the council members. We have 9 council members, and so I was in that support role. Things started happening as things happen in politics, where the chief of staff was removed, and we had a new chief of staff that came in. And because of my background in management, because I worked at a bank for about 20 years, the opportunity came open that I could be the deputy chief of staff. Ended up being a chief of staff, actually. And then something happened where the council person for the university district decided that she didn't want to do it anymore, and she went on to another job. And so because I lived in the district, and because I like being around people and making a difference, this opportunity came open, so I went for it. Not really getting into it for the politics, but really as a community advocate and someone that wants to make a difference, someone who could relate to the community and get things done for the folks in the community and the residents of the University District.
It's really cool. So, how would you describe your work environment right now?
My work environment is, because I'm the council member and I'm the leader, I create a very positive work environment. I want the people who work for me to come to work and want to do the job. It can be a very stressful job, a very, at times, problematic type of job. But at the end of the day, the people who work for me are people who we get along. We all have the same vision and care for the residents in the University District. I can tell you that the people who work for me, my chief of staff is Sandra Munson. She has been doing this for almost 20 years. She worked for my predecessor, Bonnie Russell. And then I have a woman who is my senior legislative staff person, Doris Corley, who has been with me since I've been council member, and also worked for me when I was chief of staff in the Common Council. So I have a host of people who really enjoy what they do. They enjoy serving the public, and that's the key. If you don't get any joy out of it, and if it just becomes a job, then you probably don't want to do it. And I also have young people like yourself that work for me. I have a young lady who's been working for me since I started, Taisha St. Jean. Taisha is a young person, not even 30 years old yet, and she's now the deputy chief of staff of the Common Council. So she's risen through the ranks and understands the job backwards and forwards, and she's also someone that works with me as far as communicating with the public on what the policies and procedures are, on what things that I've put forth for them for their benefit, and also gets feedback from them to make sure that they are able to get the things done that that they need. I also have a gentleman who works for me who is my media person who does something like what you all are doing. And he really gets that information on what I'm doing in the forefront of social media on Instagram. We just did a reel, and we just had a back to school giveaway that we had, almost 1,000 children that we support.
I saw that actually.
Yeah, so it's a lot of things that my team does that they enjoy doing. Number one, because this is what they've chosen as a career. And so I want to make a very positive environment for them to excel and deliver to the residents of the city of Buffalo in the University District. Because at the end of the day, if you are not happy in your job, when people come to you, you may not be happy, you may not be positive to them. So I want a good environment so the people that call know that they are cared about and we want to give them great customer service.
A Monday warrior, mean stride. Today's Tom Sawyer, mean pride.
Mom, I got it. What are you doing in there?
I got stuck.
Are you a dog?
I wouldn't do that. Have you seen the pliers? Where'd you find those?
It's not your birthday.
Sorry.
Bye, Grandpa.
Bye, Grandpa.
Take care of yourself.
What are you doing? What are you looking for?
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
Sip the juice, I got enough to go around, and the thought takes place uptown. I grew up on a sidewalk while on street talk, and they taught the whole.
Yeah, it's really good to have people actually there, not just for like the paycheck.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely what some schools and like I know it's not politics, but like it really shows like the environment. And like now that I'm understanding a little more, now I can understand that like it's better to have someone there actually trying to make a difference than just they see like it has a bunch of zeros or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's like when you and I talked a little bit earlier, you were talking about you didn't know much about politics, and in some cases you saw politics as a negative thing. And so hopefully this conversation that we're having is giving you a different outlook on it, because we need young people like you and your team to be interested in politics, because this is going to be your world in the future. And if you don't take hold of it and you don't get involved, then it will be someone else's world. But Josiah can make a difference, and Josiah can be a different type of leader and council person or elected official than anybody before him, and he can make a difference because you know what you want to see, you know what people want to see, and so you give it to them, and you just take that path instead of saying, "Oh, I don't want to get in politics," because at the end of the day, politics is what affects our communities greater than anything else. And if we don't know it, we don't get involved, then we're not in it, and then things happen in our communities that we may not like because we're not involved.
Yeah. So, do you have like any like big accomplishments or like even like a small thing that just meant a lot to you that you've done or like are currently trying to do?
Well, one of the biggest things that I'm very proud of as council member is, number one, when I first got in office, I started what they call a University District Youth Council. Those are young people that I wanted to make certain that knew about the politics, so that they knew how to navigate. Because I says again, if you don't know how to navigate it, then you can't make a difference, and then you just become a spoke in the wheel. And so I created that. It was short-lived because the people that I had, like Taisha, went on to college, so I didn't have people that come behind her to kind of carry it out. But that was one of the things I was most proud of, as well as one of the things that happened recently in our district is that they were trying to set up a opioid treatment clinic in the Clevefield Plaza. And, those things in some cases have a negative impact on our community. And so we were able to avert that because the people got involved and we all stood up and said we didn't want it because we knew that it could affect our quality of life, it could affect the lives of our children, and we didn't want it. So I'm very appreciative about that because we got the block clubs and community people engaged and we stopped it because we didn't think it was good for our community. So that one of the things I'm very, very proud of.
So how long are the term limits for like your position?
So each term is 4 years, and I just recently came through a re-election, and so in November there'll be a general election. But this is how it works. I mean, you have what they call a primary, and the primary is depending on what party is in. So you have a Democratic primary and a Republican primary. I'm a Democrat, so we had a Democratic primary, which I was successful in winning. Now we'll have a general election in November, and so people have to come out then because that's where the Democrat and the Republican or independent will be able to run against for that seat. So those are two election periods that we should be aware of. And young people, hopefully that they're paying attention so that when they get of age, 18, they can go and register to vote so that they can participate. But those again are the key things that some of the basic things that we should know. I think that young people right now, when they turn 18, I know that a lot of them want to get their license at, I believe, 16 or 17. Well, you should want to get your voter registration card at 18 because so many people have died for us to have that right. And so it's really, really important for us to be involved. If we want to make a difference in our neighborhood, we have to be involved in politics and know how it works.
Yeah. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Yeah.
Hey, boss. Okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
You sure?
I said I'm fine.
Since I was little, it was only like me and my parents.
You think you created family out of characters?
Yeah, of course.
I'm gonna take that, make it into a song.
Put me to bed, see you in the morning. With the frosted Superman, but it wasn't on it. And we lost it. In my head, in my head, in my head. Where you at, where you at on the way out? In my head, in my head, in my head.
Hey, son.
Hey, Pop.
You can talk to me.
It's been really, really hard for me.
When I got the opportunity to get her, there wasn't no choice. I told myself, I'm gonna take custody of my daughter. It's my baby. That's what we're supposed to do as men. Take care of our home, build a foundation, you know what I'm saying? Love, our money, she's my purpose. I'm here to walk with her, hold her hand until she can walk alone. Ain't nothing like being a father in this world.
When I got my permit, I had to sign like a pre-thing because they're trying to get people to vote, which
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this is crazy that they have to put it here now because kids don't be voting anymore. I think someone told me that only like 800 people voted for something.
Yeah.
I forgot. I thought that was crazy. There's definitely more than out of 30,000 or something in one area.
And we really need young people to vote. I mean, again, I can't say it strong enough that this is your future. And you have to get involved early so that you can help make it better. When you complain about what's happening on the east side or what's not happening on the east side, the first thing you have to do is look in the mirror. What am I doing? How am I making a difference? How am I getting involved? And young people can do it. It's like, sometimes you think that this is too big or you got to let adults know. You can speak up. I mean, this young lady that I can tell you about, Taisha and Mike, who are my media people, I don't think they're even 27 years old yet. And they're making a huge difference in our community using social media and using these other platforms to educate the community.
So, I think I'll leave you with two more questions. But
Mhm.
first, what are your long-term goals for like the district?
Long term, I mean, is my long term goal is actually my short term goal and my immediate goal, and that's to educate the folks in our community about how things work. I want them to be engaged. I want them to change the dynamic of our community. Right now, and it seems as though a council member or elected official comes in and they tell you what they're going to do. We got to change that. We should be telling them what we want. And so I want to get us to the point where we start setting the agenda and not someone setting the agenda for us. We have to start getting involved and saying, what do we want to see in our neighborhood? So the next person that comes and run, I'm not telling you what I want to do. You're telling me what you want me to do because I work for the people. We have to change that dynamic. So that's really my immediate goal, that we continue to educate folks and put us in a better position where we can have what we want in our community.
Well, last question is, what is something that you would want like viewers to know that you think most people don't know? Maybe specifically my age or just anyone who's doesn't really know about politics that much.
That you can make a difference. So many times we think that, oh, I can't do this. I'm not known. I don't have a lot of people. And I put it to like this. There was a young man that I talked to one time at one of the schools, and I said, if you got President Obama in front of you, what'd you ask him? What'd you want him to do? And he says, I probably have him help me get a record deal. I said, you would ask the most powerful man in the world to help you get a record deal? Yeah, so I can put my friends on, blah, blah, blah. I said, well, what about your neighborhood? Yeah, I would also ask him to help me get the potholes off my street. I said, you would ask President Obama to help you get potholes off your street? He said, yeah, because it's messed up. I said, so if you were having a party on your block, how many people could you get to your party? Oh, man, I could probably get 300 people. I said, so could you get those 300 people to come help you clean up your block? We got to think in those terms. How do we get the people that we know, the networks that we have to help us improve our neighborhoods? And so that's the key to me, is I have to try to help people, motivate people and inspire people that politics isn't politics as usual if we get involved. But it is politics as usual if we don't. If you don't get in and you don't start asking questions and you don't start bringing people to the forefront saying, these are the things that we need, getting your group of folks together, then our community will stay the way it is. But when you get involved and you change the game, you can be a difference maker and make your community what you want it to be.
Well, I did have more questions, but unfortunately out of time. I want to thank you for coming on. I'm Josiah Bailey, and thank you for tuning in to Young Buffalo. Until next time, bye-bye.
Rappers are monkey flipping with the funky rhythm I be kicking. Musician, inflicting composition of pain. I'm like Scarface sniffing cocaine, holding an M16. See with the pen I'm extreme. Now bullet holes left in my peak holes. I'm suited up with street clothes.
Regardless of where you are on your path to retirement, you can still take charge of your financial future today. Visit aceyourretirement.org and answer a few questions from Avo, your friendly digital retirement coach, for free tips, resources, and advice customized for your situation to help you feel confident and prepared for retirement. Retirement looks different for everyone. Make sure you're prepared for your financial future at aceyourretirement.org.
When I got the opportunity to get her, there wasn't no choice. I told myself, I'm gonna take custody of my daughter. It's my baby. That's what we're supposed to do as men. Take care of our home, build a foundation, you know what I'm saying? Love, our money, she's my purpose. I'm here to walk with her, hold her hand until she can walk alone. Ain't nothing like being a father in this world.
everyone. My name is River Jordan. I am 17 years old and I am from Buffalo, New York. River Jordan Carr is a independent, up-and-coming black journalist who is going to put Buffalo on the map, not just for being the town where something bad is always happening, but for Buffalo's good stories and for our wins finally being told. That comes from the confidence that I have on the inside. I know myself, and I know that everything I'm capable of, and I know that if I strive hard enough, I can make it happen. Mount St. Mary Academy. So Mount is a predominantly Catholic, all-white girls high school, and it's very small. I graduated with 53 girls, and everybody pretty much knew everybody. It was kind of like a family, and it was very cliquish, but I'll be honest, like I did have a specific group of people I hung around, but I kind of still didn't really just stick with one group because it's kind of like there are so many different people here. And I don't know, I was just trying to make it equal for everybody because, everybody says like in high school when you have those cliques, it's hard when it's time for us to come together as a class, but when it was time for us to come together, because of the resources that me and my friends and I put in place for all of us, we were all able to kind of make it work together. I went to the school, so this is my high school, so I went for 4 years. There's no middle school or anything, it's just the 4-year school. The difference is the support that's given, and don't get me wrong, like I am born, raised Buffalo, parents work in BPS, family worked all through BPS, so by all means, like if I know anything, it's probably the BPS system. But what I can say is that since my school was a lot smaller, the type of support I got from Mount, I wouldn't have gotten over at BPS because it's so small. You have a Hutch Tech class of 243 kids graduating versus 43. It's a big, as a guidance counselor, I couldn't imagine hunting down 243 kids, thinking about what they want to do for the rest of their lives. But at my school, my teacher was, well, not my teacher, but my guidance counselor, she was able to email every last one of us, schedule personal meetings with every last one of us to figure out, it's a trade school, it's a college, what is it? So I don't know, I just feel like BPS doesn't have the same support that my school does. Well, that my school did. My dream? I want to be rich. I want to be rich. No, I'm just kidding. Being wealthy is a part of it. My real dream is to just find something that I love to do every single day and just be happy. Because, I can get a job anywhere, but if I love what I'm doing every day, it doesn't feel like work. I've learned that, and it's something I actually say very often, is that I have to grind now to shine later. And as I'm saying, what I've noticed is, throughout high school, all my friends would ask me, you don't want to come party with us? Or you don't want to come hang out at such and such's house this weekend? We're not really going to be doing anything. It's just, we're all chilling. It's guys over at the house, parents gone, drinking, whatever. But I know I have a college exam in the morning, and I'm or AP exam in the morning, and I'm like, man, I can't do that. Even if I wanted to, I can't because I got to start studying. And I think that me disciplining myself in struggling to not deal with FOMO was probably one of the hardest things, along with dealing with things that go on in my city and poverty and all that other different type of stuff. But I think that for me grinding now and struggling now, when I turn 23 or 21, once I graduate from college, I can go be the best version of myself. Can go buy that $8 coffee without having to think, how am I going to pay my rent? Because I did the best I could do now so I could shine later. The idea of failure. Most people, I feel they're afraid of clowns and all that other different type of stuff and being in the dark. But mine is failure. Because once you fail, that's endgame for me. I don't, I'm not gonna, because obviously sometimes you have to be okay with failing to then push forward to succeed. But when I hit bottom, like rock bottom failure, it's over. Like, that's endgame for me. Well, I'm an only child, so being alone is kind of normal for me, but I think that being alone is okay when you personally need it, but just being alone to just be alone sounds very depressing. That's what I'm saying though. Like when you need like that time to like be alone and you're like, all right, I need to be within my own thoughts for a second. Or if there's just like too much going on, like I know how to push back and just say, okay, it's time for River to just sit down and focus for a second. I don't have a problem with doing that. But if there's an option between like social interaction or being alone, and I don't need to be alone for the moment in time, I'm choosing social interaction. I am, and I'm going to tell this to you now because hopefully in 4 years we're going to look back on this and say I got in and I got a fellowship to go for free. But my heart, fingers crossed, is really set on Columbia for grad school. That's where my heart is set in New York City. But that school costs $78,000 a year, and yeah, my master's program and stuff, so I would have to look around, but I know that that program would be very good for me, and then I could probably work they send most of their interns over to Good Morning America anyway. So I just want to, like, I would want to set myself up well, whatever I do. So I just think that, after my 4 years, I'm going to go get my master's and go get a career. River Jordan Carr. I am a fearless black young lady who's ready to take over the world. If you don't know, now you know. And get ready because I'm coming.